Hello, Beekman Elementary School. It is Wednesday, November 18th. I am so happy to be talking to you today, and do we have a ton of stuff to talk about. Got a ton of stuff to show you, a ton of stuff to say, so I hope you're looking forward to a wonderful, packed announcements. So, hey, let's get started. Here we go. So I know Halloween was a while ago, but a few families did send in pictures. Remember I had said if you had any Halloween photos you wanted to send them in, and they did. So I want to share these with you. So take a look and check these out. So here we have Ileana Kiley in her Halloween costume. So colorful and bright. Thanks for sharing, Ileana. You look great. And here we have Franco Leone looking awesome on Halloween. Thanks, Franco. And the Zerbo family went all in on Halloween. Here we see RJ as Mrs. Doubtfire. Could you even tell that was RJ? Doesn't he look unbelievable? Skylar is all lit up as an angel. Wow, her wings actually have lights. Thank you all for sharing your Halloween pictures. All right, and also on Sunday, November 8th, Cub Scouts from Pack 77, along with members of their families, they came to our school, and they spent the day working on their community service project. So they performed a cleanup of the fields, of the playground areas, and just all around the school in the front and the back. They looked around and found trash, and they picked it up and they discarded it. Thank you so much to Pack 77 and all the volunteers who made a difference for our school. Here are a few pictures and some shout outs to those Beekman Bears who helped out. So here we see Pack 77 working in the back, picking up trash, finding stuff in the leaves and in the bushes. And then here they are, all of the Beekman Bears who helped out. Brandon Colucci, Chloe Colucci, Braden Gabari, Christopher Randazzo, Connor Thompson, Derek Spadavecchia, David Ruger, Franco Leone, Jacob Przanowski, Louis Iacovoni, and Leo Iacovoni. Thanks, everyone. All right, it's time for some remote learner shout-outs. That's right, on Wednesdays we like to reach out to our remote-only learners who are home working hard. It's not easy, right? It's not easy working hard and learning every day at home. So we want to make sure we're shouting out to them and telling you all out there in remote-only learning land that we're thinking of you and we're proud of you. So in Mrs. Schwarz's class, Samantha Bueno. Hey, Samantha. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're working hard. I know Mrs. Schwarz is really pleased with everything you're doing, so keep it up. And in Mrs. Clar's and Mrs. Matasia's class, Nasir Dutton. Hey, Nasir. Miss you. Hope you're doing well and keep up the good work. And in Mrs. Claro's and Mrs. Schneider's class, Violet Mangles. Hey, Violet. Hope you're doing well and enjoying class. I spoke to Mrs. Claro the other day. She's telling me about all the cool stuff everybody in class is doing, so keep up the good work, and I hope you're enjoying it. And then in Mrs. Breitenbach's class, Tanae Murphy. Hey, Tanae. Hope you're doing well, working hard. We miss you, and we can't wait to see you soon. And in Mrs. Eggers and Mrs. Welker's class, Michael Chafin. Hey, Michael. Hope you're doing well and working hard. Like I said before, I know it's not easy, but I bet you're giving it your best, so keep it up. We're proud of you. And in Mr. Leach's class, Anna Alvarez. Hey, Anna. Hope you're doing well and doing all your work and trying hard. So keep it up and let me know if there's anything you need. I'm happy to help. And in Mrs. Pascarella's and Mrs. Papalizio's class, hello and a shout out to Dalen Stewart. Hey, Dalen. Think about you all the time. Hope you're doing well. We miss you and keep up the good work. And then in Mrs. Amrod's class, James Amadio. Hey, James. It was so great seeing you a few weeks ago at Halloween. I know we did a shout out for Alice, and you were probably wondering, hey, when's mine? Well, here it is. Shout out to James. Keep up the good work, James. I know you're doing a great job, and we're proud of you. And then Mrs. Bowen's and Mrs. Holzapfel's class, Anna Leah and Demi Wheeler. Hey, ladies. Hope you're doing well. We miss you. And Anna Leah, how'd I do, huh? Finally, I got your name right. At least I think I did. So Demi, Anna Leah, we miss you, and we hope you're working hard and doing well. And then in Mrs. Armstrong's class, Chris Ricci. Hey, Chris, how you doing? We miss you, and I know you're working hard and you're doing your best, so keep it up, and I'm proud of you. So that's all for our remote-only learner shout-outs. We only have a few left, actually, but if I have not done a shout-out for you, if you're a remote-only learner, it'll be coming, right? We have plenty of Wednesdays left, and then we'll be letting you know that we're thinking of you. So keep Keep up the good work, remote-only learners. Proud of you. Oh, whoa, whoa. Birthdays! That's right. Happy birthday. We only have one Beekman Bear with a birthday today, but that doesn't matter. All it takes is one. Happy birthday to Caitlin Fallon. Caitlin, hope you have a super birthday today on Wednesday, November 18th. We'll be thinking of you and wishing you well, so enjoy. Happy, happy birthday to you. Would you like some cake? Or maybe ice cream? Hope you enjoy. Oh, I didn't tell any jokes yet? Man, I mixed that up. I got it backwards. I started laughing, but I didn't tell the jokes. All right, we'll start with the jokes, then we'll do the laughing. And that's right, it's Joke Friday, but on a Wednesday. So here we go. First joke is from the joke queen herself, Nicole O'Connor, and she asks, why did the student eat her homework? Because the teacher told her it was a piece of cake. That's right. And we have two knock-knock jokes. First one, knock-knock. Ice cream soda. Ice cream soda people can hear me. Yeah, I like that one. All right, the last one. Here we go. Knock-knock. Tank. You're welcome. Get it? Tank who? Sounds like thank you, and I said you're welcome. All right, hope you like those jokes on Joke Friday, but it's only on a Wednesday. All right, so we're almost near the end of our announcements for this Wednesday, but for the final portion, it's the Thought of the Day segment. But today's Thought of the Day is really a bunch of things that I've been thinking about recently. We had two big milestones over the past 2 weeks. One was from the past, and one is from the present. So on Saturday, November 14th, that was the 60th anniversary of Ruby Bridges. She was an African-American first grader, and she was the first black child to attend an all-white school in New Orleans several years after schools were ordered to desegregate. I'm sure you've heard of Ruby Bridges. If you haven't, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. And then the second event was the election of the first woman, the first African-American, and the first Asian American to the vice presidency of the United States. That's Kamala Harris. So these two big deals, these two big milestones, these really historic events are kind of combined in today's Thought of the Day. So many of us know the story of Ruby Bridges. If you don't, I recommend you read this book if you are in grades K, 1, or 2. So this is an excellent book that gives you a really good idea of who Ruby Bridges was and what she did. And there's some others that we have as well. This one, I didn't even know we had in our library. This is called Through My Eyes, and this was written by Ruby Bridges herself later when she was an adult. So you may want to check this one out. This one, though, is more about the actual story of when she was famous as a 6-year-old for going to school. It was an all-white school, and she was the first black child to go to that school. And it wasn't easy, and this book will show you that. And then there's another book, and Ruby Bridges is in this one. This one's called She Persisted. This is in our library. This is not just about Ruby Bridges. It's about 13 American women who changed the world, and Ruby Bridges is one of those 13. So this is also a really good book, very timely and appropriate for all the things I'm talking about today. But if you're a little bit older, this one's also written by Ruby Bridges, and it's brand new. This book was written like just a month ago, maybe just a few weeks ago, and it just came out. It's like super brand new. And it was shared with me by Sadie Mackey. She's a student in Mrs. Granger's 3rd grade class. And Mrs. Granger bought this book, and then Sadie read it, and Sadie was so moved that she wrote me a letter, and she recommended that I read it. Well, I did, and I was moved as well. And Mrs. Bridges' book, it's actually a letter to you. That's right, because it's titled, This Is Your Time. And so Mrs. Bridges shares a little of what it was like for her as a child going to school, and also what it was like for the country at that time. And her book, This Is Your Time, it also compares the struggle against inequality and racism 60 years ago to what's going on today. So I'm not going to retell the book. I encourage you to read it yourself. However, one page from the book that I want to share with you is page 34. So let me read that to you now. And it says, Miss Ruby Bridges writes, I have not witnessed hatred or bigotry when I've looked into your young eyes. Regardless of what you looked like or where you came from, I saw some of my 6-year-old self in you. You did not care about the color of each other's skin, and I have loved seeing that because I saw hope. Hope that most people don't get a chance to see, and I thank you for sharing that. So I think what Mrs. Bridges is saying is that the hope for a kinder, more equitable world depends on the attitudes and beliefs of children. You are the hope for a better future, where racism is not tolerated and kindness is celebrated. I believe Mrs. Bridges is saying to you that you are not born racist, that racism is learned, and that hatred is learned. So that's why education and thinking and reading are so important to young minds. And that brings me back to Sadie. So thank you, Sadie, for being thoughtful. And I don't mean like thoughtful like kind or nice. I mean thoughtful in that you wanted to read the book and you thought deeply about what Ruby wrote and experienced. Real thinking, real consideration. That's the mark of a true reader and a learner, one who thinks and one who reflects. I'm proud of you because you represent Ruby Bridges' hope, right? It starts with reading and thinking and sharing. And as Ruby Bridges takes us back from 1960 to 2020 in her book, we come to a very historic moment in our country in 2020. And that's the recent election of Kamala Harris, the first female vice president, the first African American vice president, and the first Asian American vice president. Wow, right? I mean, I'm sure Ruby Bridges sees the direct connection from her 6-year-old self all the way to Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. And what a feeling that must be for Ruby Bridges and for Kamala Harris and for women and children everywhere. I hope you are also proud that our country elected an African American and an Asian American woman to be vice president. All Americans, and let's think about this, right? You hear this a lot from Americans. Americans are very quick to say that the United States is a country where all people are created equal and everyone should have a chance to succeed, right? Americans are very proud of that. Well, Kamala Harris, her election, that's a step in the right direction. That actually shows that what we all say and we believe is actually true. So one of the quotes from Kamala Harris recently that I wanted to share, she said, "While I may be the first woman in this office, I will not be the last." So I think that's really important, and I think it was really memorable that she said that. She doesn't just see her election as an achievement for herself. It's an achievement for all women. And it's important to have heroes like Ruby Bridges and Kamala Harris. It's important for all children, no matter your gender or your race, your ethnicity, or your background, to have heroes and people that you can identify with. And so you have something to strive for too. But I'm also thinking about this in our Thought of the Day segment, that heroes are everyday people too. We have many strong women who are brave and smart and hardworking and determined and innovative right here in our community. I mean, it's great to have someone like Ruby Bridges or Kamala Harris to look up to, but we also have really strong, heroic women that we can look up to right here. They're everywhere. But we often don't think of them as special because they're around us every day. But they are. Our teachers, our teaching assistants, our nurse, our custodians, our secretaries, our bus drivers, our kitchen workers. Most of the people who make our school the wonderful place it is are women. And many of you have mothers or family members who are first responders or doctors or nurses or lawyers or soldiers or teachers or coaches or volunteers. They all who make a difference, and they lead by example, and they make our community a better place. So as we celebrate the bravery and the example of Ruby Bridges, and we take pride in the accomplishment and possibilities of Kamala Harris, let's also remember that we have our own examples of courage and accomplishment in women right in front of us every day. So thank you to all the women of our school and our community who are strong and kind and fair and helpful and giving. We appreciate you. All right, so that's all for today. Thank you for watching and listening and thinking about what I've shared today. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope you appreciated the messages of hope. So have a super day, Beekman, and keep up the good work. Bye.